What's going on, all you wolves out there in the chat? Welcome to Wolfpack Wednesdays, episode 90. Too sweet. 2, Steve, F&F. 2, DLO, the Ghost Rider. My boys. Steve is back. Brick is out. We're just kind of swapping one in for the other. Little substitution. But it's good to see both of you back in here for episode 90. 10 more. And I did the math. If we don't miss a week, it is the week of May the 5th, May the 4th, that we will hit 100 episodes. So
ooh, nice.
That will be a pretty fun week, if I don't say so myself. Boys, I'm gonna see how you guys are doing. But first, we got a pretty cool dude that's going to be joining us tonight in Brick's stead. A guy that we've hung out with for quite a while, and it's always good to have him on the show. So without further ado, let's bring him on and waste no time.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome tonight's Wolfpack special guest, making his way to the stream, a YouTube superstar and friend of the Jedi Knights Watch. Please welcome
Flavio. What is up, the House of Collectibles, my friend? How are you doing? I love the cases behind you, by the way.
I'm doing great, my God. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, and I feel honored to be here for the 90th episode. So
yeah,
it's always good to hang out with the boys.
You're a good friend of the channel. Too sweet. Too
Yes,
Flavio.
sir.
It's good to have you, my friend. Dude, I love the cases. So I know you've had them for a good minute now, but quick thoughts. Happy with them? Was it worth the wait?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely happy with them. The wait was kind of like, gruesome at times. At times it was just like, all right, just forget about it. And
Just forget.
But when it was getting close to it, it was like, oh man, I'm getting so excited. But overall, I am over the moon with these cases. I feel like, I actually get to see my vision come to life,
That's the
so
best
that's the biggest part of the journey for me.
Dope.
Is to see like what my whole thoughts were before I even had my cases, like, a year prior. So very happy with them, but they were a pain in the butt, to put together. And obviously in your video, you made it look so easy. So when I'm doing it and struggling here and freaking grinding and taking the sweat off my forehead trying to get these cases together, I'm like, you.
Just want to curse him, right? See, I think that's kind of like
you
every
guys don't see all of the cuts that I had out of there, like all of the time that's cut out and the swearing and the doing something wrong and then going backwards. And,
well, man, like it's spliced so good together that it looks like a fluid, like one shot, So I was like, damn,
anybody can do it.
Yeah, anybody could do this. And
Just like me.
as you
Very
go
nice
and you're
watch.
like, oh man, I forgot to put that freaking bolt on with the washer. I got to take this piece off and like, oh
weather
man.
stripping.
Oh yeah. Yep. But
I'm
it
waiting
was
for mine. So obviously I've moved my monos out to Brick's house. We did that over the weekend. So maybe next week mine are coming in, but this is going to be my garage area. So I don't have any room for my DeLorean now that I have Jabba the Hutt. So he had to just go on a table for now. I'm like, it gives me some sort of a background. But I was thinking of like doing another video on DFs, but building them a different way. But because there's a different way than I did it that you can do it. I wonder if it's easier or not. So I might do it that way.
It's easier.
And do another video. So
you're talking about like the updated instructions?
Yeah, I might just follow that and then do an updated video. But we'll see, because kind of just want to get them built and just get it done.
You will have a better time doing it following the new instructions, I feel like.
Yeah,
for sure. That's how I did it my second go around.
It makes that it makes, like when you get to the end and you have that like T-bar that goes across, that's really hard. Yes.
Yeah,
it makes that like a breeze with the new instructions. You don't have to worry about. You don't really get hung up anywhere. I think that's what makes it better.
Yeah. That's a big deal. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for you, Flavio, because it looks like you got a lot of room to grow there too. I see you got 4 stacked high.
Yeah, so I'm 4 high.
You got some
right
high
now.
ceilings. You and DLO.
Yep. And I mean, I plan to probably
DLO
get
proud.
more cases in the future, but it'll be like offset here,
Sure.
like, so you won't really see it. But
That's the one thing I do miss is having like my cases is like my full on background when I'm streaming. I know DLO misses that too about my setup because like, man, especially my Star Wars, like it's been rapidly growing and I feel like it's just like the fire part. But this is going to be really cool too when I get it set up. You're going to be able to see like the Tumblr and all the Dark Knight stuff. So it's kind of like I got artwork hanging, so it's like my Batman corner. But yeah, so much stuff that's off screen that I don't get to show as much. So nonetheless, you just can't have it all on screen. So it's good to be with you guys. Anybody got some figures cooking? Anybody got some new stuff they want to just quickly bring up before we say hi to the chat?
Yeah, sure.
man.
I sporadically decided to get a Batman armory when I swore off all Hot Toys related Dark Knight memorabilia. But yeah, there's
DLO.
this collection.
Now you listen.
Hobby of our.
If you think this is the ass kissingest son you ever saw, give me a hell yeah. What?
What stream were we doing when you swore off all Batman?
All of them.
That was the
All of them.
what stream was that?
I think it was when we were talking about the second armory.
When the 2.0 dropped, I was
Yeah, the
with-
second.
you and I
the
went
second
live and you're
Dark
like,
Knight armory.
Yeah.
I think I'm done, man.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
But here we are, full circle.
Before I was really interrupted by Stone Cold Steve Austin. What I was going to say is it's amazing how this hobby can pull you back into things in an indirect kind of way and just kind of catch it. I kind of shared with you guys a little bit like how like awkward my trip back to Dark Knight world has been. So I got some random guy was selling Batman Begins with OT Customs head sculpt, right? Which I think is just makes that figure incredible. I was like, you know what? I want that. That's my favorite Batman suit. So I picked that up, right? Then Marcos from Collector Zone has a random cancellation for Bane. And I'm like, oh man, I passed on Bane. So I grabbed the Bane from him. Then one random night, I'm trying to get a deal for a Mark III Iron Man, and someone's selling an Artisan Joker. So I picked that up, right? And before you know it, I went to my local comic shop this past weekend to do another comic book tour video, which, by the way, I just put one out last week, to do one of my local shop. And you got the brand new armory in. And the figure that I came in to go buy, which was the Mark II, was sold out. So all these coincidences just don't feel like coincidences at this point. It just feels like it's meant to be. I'm like, all right, I got to give this another shot. So I have the armory in my possession. I'm currently in the process of reviewing it right now. So yeah, I'm weak. I'll admit that.
We all are.
So yeah, so good stuff. Good stuff here.
And Steven, you yourself have joined the Armory Club.
I have. This is the box right here for the figures. I've been working on that today. I didn't get time to unpack literally everything yet, but that armory is, I will say, better in person, bigger than I thought it was going to be. I think the detail, it's a lot easier to see the detail. If yeah, for real. If, or just like, there's a lot more detail in it than you can capture, I feel like, from the photos that they put out, which is really cool. Putting all the pieces in is an interesting process. Like, you have to peel this, like this cover off, and like, I was trying to be really careful. Like DLO knows when you have to like pull it off of those like little silicone things on the back. Like, that was kind of sketchy, feeling like you're gonna break something. But the armory's dope, man. The power pose Bruce Wayne, interesting piece that they have provided there. But
Hey, what do you guys like and dislike about that piece? Is it something that you would welcome more of, or hell no? Like, what are your thoughts on that thing, having it in hand?
I would say I don't really like it all that much. I'd rather have a posable figure in place of that. The tailoring is not great. Like, the clothes are very odd. Like, it just seems like a cheap clothing choice, the way that they did it. I actually like I think the head sculpt is actually better in person. The mouth is a little weird, but it still, I feel like, captures Christian Bale, especially if you like turn the head a certain way. like get it under certain lighting. So like I don't really have an issue too much with the head sculpt. The also at the like there's these really ugly seam lines at the arms, like halfway up the biceps on each side. That just, I mean, you can cover it with the sleeve, but like once you, like mine sleeves were like all bunched up and I could see just like this giant seam line where his arms are folded. It is just, yeah, it's a very, I feel like, I don't know if you want to call it like cutting corners on that figure, but I feel like they could have just, why not do something else? Like they're doing this 2.0 armory for the Dark Knight and they're giving us like an articulated suited version of Bruce Wayne. Why not give us like this exact, why couldn't this figure just have been a seamless body or seamless like forearm articulated figure? That would have been a cool thing for them to do. Instead they obviously made it power pose, thinking it's probably just something they could do easier. But go ahead, DLO.
Yeah, I think honestly the armory was probably used kind of as a test dummy to see if how collectors would react to getting something like that. And I think pretty much anybody who gets it here is probably gonna have the same reaction. Definitely would have preferred having a regular figure of Bruce Wayne as opposed to that power pose, because yeah, it loses luster really quick. But I agree with Steve. I think the head sculpt is probably talked about a little too negatively. It's not as bad as people seem to have been making it out. It's actually quite nice if you put it on the Batman suit, believe it or not. But yeah, I think this was a kind of a opportunity where Hot Toys took to just see if collectors would go for something like that. I'm sure it's probably a lot more affordable for them to make something like that, as opposed to going the whole other route of full silicone body and stuff like that, which, you know, hey, it's fine. But I would say overall, though, the figure and the armory itself, Batman that is with the armory, I think it's actually quite good. I think it's a really big improvement. I was very surprised how much I liked it. Head sculpt can still be better on the Batman cowl, but I think it's a lot better than the X19. So, I mean, overall, I think, you know, if you're a fan of this armory, which I am, it's worth the pickup. Maybe buy a body for Bruce and do a little Kit Bash action. But if you're into more the Dark Knight one there, then honestly, hearing this tells you should probably stick with that 2.0 if that's the one you're really been eyeing. But I like mine.
Good. I'm glad you guys like it. I know from pictures, I even told you guys, I'm like, it's just hard to judge it because it just looks like a chunk of plastic. But yeah, like I'm sure in person, it's got better angles, light hits it differently and stuff like that. So Flavio, are you thinking of picking up any Dark Knight stuff like the armory, either armory or anything like that?
Yeah, I've kind of just been dancing around the other one, the other armory that
the 2.0.
Yeah, I prefer that one. I really like you know, the clear one too, but I don't want to have both, obviously. So if I had to go, I mean, I always wanted the suited Bruce Wayne, so I always wanted to have that in the collection. So they threw that in there. So I'm very, very much contemplating that one. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Kind of trying to build up the points and
yeah, I hear you. It's kind of like one of those things where I want it, but I don't want to. I just don't want to go full. Like I'm not there yet to just do it. You know? Right.
I have so much other stuff on my list that is prioritized right now for me that, you know, I'm just keeping a close eye on that one for now.
Plus, I hear you, Graham. I mean, you don't want to get too deep into this line. I mean, it's not like you have the Tumbler or the Joker or Bane or
definitely
Batman Begins with a Jackson. You had Scott, the Bat Pod, looking for a Selena Kyle. Any chance you can grab one? We had to talk. You're right.
No, I want it.
You don't want to go that route.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised now that like DLO just said all that, because you have like everything. You have everything else. You have everything else.
Not of Catwoman.
Well, we don't have Catwoman either, but that's because of figure shit. But I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised that you didn't like with how you're, and you have Joker. You have Joker, Bane, Batman Begins, Tumbler.
Well, to tell you the truth,
he's just trying. See, he doesn't want to go too deep.
You still have your GX19?
No, I sold that because I thought it was 2.0 armory.
Yeah,
but the other part is this case is pretty much full.
Yeah, you can fit
so more. if I get the armory, you know, how does that really all fit in there? I don't know if it does. So
you can make it work. You got to get the 2.0. You can't get this one. This one's bigger than the 2.0 armory.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, this one's sizable. I was.
Yeah, it's massive. It's bigger
If
than the
everything's
original.
fitting
Yeah,
into one
for
DF,
sure.
it's going to be tight. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, I had it. I was going to pre-order it, but then when I got the conversion for the Jazzing Batmobile, something kind of had to go. So that was one of the things I decided I'd miss out on. But I don't know. As we get a little closer, maybe I can make something happen. So you know me, I just make stuff happen. Balls deep in Star Wars, and nothing better than that. But let's see who's in the chat and say hi to everyone. We have Adric 23. Hello, collectors. Too sweet. Thank you for being a channel member. Man, we got a lot of channel members joining us tonight. These guys have been enjoying the Jabba the Hutt video, which is out right now for channel members for the Jedi Knights and the Jedi Grand Masters. And it will be up for everyone Friday morning at 7 Eastern. So, DLO, set your alarm. Flavio, set your alarm. Wake up early. And make sure you check that out. But we got Valkyrie Magnus. Good evening, Graham, DLO, Brick, and Steve. Wolfpack Wednesday is back. And, of course, Flavio, our special guest. Rad Cormac is here as well. Too sweet. We got Field of Burn. Howdy, folks. Tighter FL. What's up, everyone? Thank you guys for being channel members, and thank you guys for being here each and every week. We got Off the Wall. Hello, all. What's going on, my friend? Thank you for being here as well. Kevin is in the house. What is up? My father, Django, another channel member. Good evening, Wolfpack. Hammer of God, another friend of the channel. What's up, fellas? We got Cobra's Collection. What's up, Grammy, Flavi, Dello, and the panel on this wonderful Wednesday night. Steve will be the panel. Let's talk toys, creating, and posing. Very well, we shall. Thank you for being here, Cobra. Hope you're doing well. 12-inch Moose Stream. Hello, community of collectors. Artisan Joker in hand. Congrats to you, sir. DLO has been... He's getting really acquainted with that figure. Like, he knows every fiber of that head sculpt with that Joker. So
Every fiber, literally.
every sends me a new
Every
picture. I'm like, it
strand.
looks the same, but it looks great. Either way, it looks
Bro.
really good.
It's way better than. No, I'm not gonna even go there. Forget it. You're just trying to trigger me.
Way better than sculpted.
I'm gonna open up
I
my
said
own.
it.
How dare you?
Uh-oh, Deal's gone.
Oh man,
Feels
I think he's just
completely-
holding still.
No, he's completely... Oh, there he
wow.
goes.
Oh,
Dude, something's going on. StreamYard is garbage.
StreamYard.
unreal.
Unreal. I was trying to get back on while he's resetting the internet. Let's keep moving. We got Doc Bat. Hello, friends. X-Man is here, y'all. I was this close to winning a free Mondo Wolverine. Damn.
Ooh.
What do they say? Close but no cigar. Darth Kibbles, channel member. Good evening, everyone. Too sweet. We got Universal Key. We got Clinton. Howdy, howdy. Striker. Happy Wednesday. Looking forward to Monday for the advanced screening of Daredevil. Born Again. Let's go.
Wait, Hammer of God had a question above. A couple comments above.
Oh, yeah. Question. What's the over-under and how many more days until we get a Star Wars pre-order? We're going to talk about that. Let's save that
Oh.
because we want to talk about a little bit of the drought. We can start the show with that. So let's just get through this, and then we will definitely get to that. Derek is celebrating 10 months as a channel member. Thank you, my good friend. I appreciate that. Good evening. How's everyone doing? We are doing well. It's always good to hang out with you guys. Good to see Flavio. So couldn't really ask for much more. We got Pokemon Goober. What's up, guys? What's up, Brandon? Jazzy is here. He's got that wine every single week. Cheers to you, my friend. Let's see. 2 figures, 2 fandom. Yeah, 100th episode on May the 4th would be 6. So it's around there. It's I think roughly that same week. So yeah, that would be quite the celebration. We got Kirby Kai. What's up, y'all? Been a long minute since I've tuned in last. Well, thank you for coming back. We love having you, and we hope you stick around. What we got? Frank Flores. What's going on, my friend? Brick Artemis stopping in to say hello. What's going on, my friend? I know he's got to get his beauty sleep because he's running a couple times a night to get some milk for that newborn baby. So he's just getting out of the show for a couple weeks just to kind of get into a routine and whatnot. So we wish him all the best. One Adam 12. Hello there, Wolfpack. What's going on, my friend? Thank you for being a channel member. I want to be on the show one day. I'll have to practice talking because I sound redneck. Dude, anytime, man. Let's do it. Let's book it. We're up for a good time, right? We got Collection Obsession, Too Sweet. Hello. Ryan Stadler, what's up, peeps? Good to see you. Queso Blanco, got to catch the replay. Currently recovering from an injury. Not our favorite moderator. Too Sweet, enjoy the show. P.S. The new John Wick figure is amazing. Flavio, you getting that?
No.
Are you a John Wick fan?
I am, but I like the first one. Like
I love the first one.
Yeah, I love the first one.
Artisan OG. That's all we need.
Yeah,
what did you think of the fourth one?
I just felt like it was just so far gone. Like, I mean, not like it
Unreal.
was good. It was a great movie, but I just felt like by the time I got to the fourth one, I was just like,
Burned out?
Yeah, I was
Fatigued?
kind of, I was fatigued from
And then, like, as you
Like,
go
how
through
many
each movie,
things-
the fight scenes get longer and longer, and you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, like,
I was like, just like all thinking off the wall stuff. Like, how many different things can like he kill somebody with? Like, what's the next item? Like,
Damn right. Keep going.
you know?
God, we got complaining about too much action, Graham, over here.
well, come on. We need some
No.
good writing, too.
We need more.
Yeah, it was more of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. Are you guys going to see Ballerina?
Mm.
All right.
Well, there goes that conversation.
All right.
Let's move on.
They call me Queso Blanco. I hope you recover from your injury.
Yes. Yeah, I hope you're
Sorry, man,
doing
that
okay,
sucks.
man.
Hope you get better, man.
Yeah. Nick's Collectibles. Sup, guys? What's up, Nick? This guy is a magician when it comes to photography, so go check his IG out. Really great angles of these head sculpts and
Amazing close-ups.
yeah, amazing close-ups, the detail, the pores, everything. So go check him out on IG. We got Adrian with the W stream. Howard Potts, another channel member. Appreciate you, my friend.
What's up, Howard?
Too sweet. Let's see. Any ideas on who should run Lucasfilm if the Kathleen Kennedy retirement rumors pan out?
Baloney.
I think it's a good idea.
Yep.
They got the big three to choose from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys be fine with any one of the three big names?
Go ahead,
We
Flavio.
got Favreau, Filoni, and what's the
I-
other one?
Kevin Feige.
Feige,
Yeah.
that's it.
I want it to be Filoni, Favreau, Feige, like in that order.
I'd probably be on point with that as well.
Yeah, that's the one that makes the most sense. But if in some weird parallel universe, Filoni feels like it's good for him to take the passenger seat and let Favreau do it for maybe like a while, that's kind of weird. But I mean, they're both great. I feel like them together, keep the pillars of, Star Wars for us fans together, I mean, you got some other good people in there. I don't disagree with you, X-Man. Bryce Dallas Howard, she keeps it real too for certain things, but
Right.
She might have fumbled in a couple other things, but she might have not have
They
full
just need somebody that's
control
going
of
to be
that.
super consistent. Like, sometimes you have too many hands in the cookie jar, and then,
Yep.
I just didn't agree with a lot of Kennedy's kind of takes or, I guess, thoughts on certain things. So, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think it's good to always have, like even Mando, they had, like, a bunch of people directing it. Do you think you should just stick to one director and kind of have that stability and that consistency?
I don't think that they I don't think they necessarily have to stay with one person the entire time, because Star Wars is also like, Dave Filoni talks about, like, he wants people to have creative freedom in how stories are told.
Mhm.
I think that's really important, but it just has to be a good story. I think that's really where we're like the biggest thing, like the biggest issue lies for a lot of people, is like, it's got to be good story, like good writing. And then things will like fall into place after that, because the directors who do the stuff, like, they're all very talented. Like, you can pick out a director and they have other work that like they're known for, I feel like, in most cases. So I don't think like that's so much the issue. I will say, if this is actually true, like if this really truly happens and Kathleen Kennedy's out, I think I don't really care so much who the president is, but I think the main thing is like the key to the success. If we want to purely talk about Star Wars, to me personally, like you have to go through Dave Filoni. He is like he's the person who was like directly taught by George Lucas. And moving forward in Star Wars, I think the main thing for Star Wars is like trying to stay true to what like George Lucas created. I think that's really important.
Right.
Like I think you have to look at what 1 through 6 was and what like the understanding of Star Wars from the perspective of George Lucas. The issue with that is he gave that up. So like that can be a counterpoint to what I'm saying of like he gave that up and now can be this new generation of what it means. But to me, I feel like Dave Filoni is kind of like the right person when it comes to Star Wars. The president is the one who's going to make ultimately the call in my mind. You know, like the people under the president can say whatever they want. But the president is going to ultimately say, okay, this is what we're going to do. So I think whoever the president is, long story short, the president, hi D-Lo. Long story short is I think the president has to allow Dave Filoni the creative freedom and like the full creative freedom of what Star Wars is going to end up being. Because to me, he's the key moving forward to having Star Wars be like as successful as it can be when it comes to knowing exactly like what the product needs to be based on like what the true lore of Star Wars is. Cause he learned from George Lucas, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. I feel like how you were saying that, you know, as long as they don't mess with it too much and make a good story, that's all that matters. Because like technically like Star Wars is for everybody, you know what I mean? Like
Pros again.
It's always gonna be a part of like every generation in its own way. But the fact that, you know, they keep it true to what it actually was from the beginning with the vision that George, you know, Lucas had is what, you know, matters the most. And I think that that's why Filoni is so successful with the things that he does for Lucasfilms, because from the beginning he's always been a fan of Star Wars like us and, you know, many people. He doesn't do it as, you know, a businessman. He does it as, you know, a fan. So when he goes to create something, he does it from the outside, seeing it from the outside, you know. So for sure him. And
he's shown he can be successful too. So I mean, that's he's done a lot of great things so far. So yeah, I mean, I hope the rumors are true, and you know, we'll see. Because I mean, Disney's got to know. I mean, they're still making money, but I saw something like they made $2 billion on Star Wars, but with Marvel they've made like 12 billion, or was it maybe even more? It might have been 40. It was like, wow, it wasn't even close though. Like, so 2 billion sounds like a lot until you compare it to Marvel, and then it was like minimal. So like they gotta know, like, you know, obviously with the Trashlight and stuff like that, that like, you know, fans are starting to kind of grumble more and more. So hopefully, hopefully it's true. But
you know, coming up with the Mando and Grogu movie.
Yeah, they got to hit that on the head. I mean, they can't mess that up. Season 3 was kind of a shit show.
Yeah, that Mando movie's got to hit.
Yeah, and I think it will. I think it'll.
I hope so.
Be in the
yeah, you got to get Star Wars. Star Wars needs to get back in the theater. Like, that's another big thing.
Yeah,
like, we need like blockbuster Star Wars movies. Marvel has that like all the time. They have a running constant stream of movies. Not so much as of late, but like Marvel has that liberty of like they have so many different stories, so many different ways they can take it. Where like so many characters can get their solo movie, right, to build like the whole, you know, like the Avengers level thing that's to come. Right, Star Wars has done that with shows recently, right? We haven't gotten a really big you know, a really big I guess like the last theatrical movie was it Rise of Skywalker? Yeah. Was that 2019?
I think so.
It's been crazy. Was it 2019? I think so. Yeah, because it was 15, 17, and 19. I think yeah, Force Awakens was 15.
I feel like there's so many characters they could flesh out even more too, like even a Darth Maul like movie, or gosh, I'd love to see some Vader stories, but I know they don't like to give too much Vader, but
yeah,
man,
there's so many different things they could do that are still.
I would watch a
have yet to
Vader
be explored.
vlog of him in his chamber, like how he just like gets in and out of the suit and like, you know, all that stuff. Like I'd watch a vlog on Vader for 24 hours.
You should
Like,
read the comics. You should read the Vader comics. You would like them.
He's like, now we are going to get in the back tank.
I hate this.
A vlog, just a vlog of Vader's life.
All right, let's move it along. Good question. We got SG Collectibles. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well this week. Happy Wednesday to you, Nomar. Thank you for being here. We got Mark Attack. Hello there. Anybody want to see a Jar Jar solo movie? Anybody? Didn't think so. All right.
Rather on Disney Plus or something like that.
Let's see. We got Chris Santos. How's everyone doing today? Great panel, of course. Yeah, man. Stacy, Jedi 291. Good evening, and fellow collectors. I just got my 89 Batman Deluxe yesterday, and it's amazing. This Batman collecting is all new to me, but I'm so excited to see it grow. Yeah, that's a great figure. Love that base. So much shelf presence in the display too. Sneaker, you have that one, right? 89?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Pretty happy with it?
I am very happy with it. Yep.
Are you
Great
getting
figure.
the 1/6 kit faceplate?
I did not get the
rock it?
faceplate. I think I'm good with what it is. I did get the Jackson cape that I'm waiting on. So that's really the only thing. I don't think I'm gonna do the faceplate for that one as of right now.
It was a little expensive too. I think it was like close to $50.
Yeah.
But Flavio, you getting into 89 at all? Is that not your thing?
Oh yeah, I have the Deluxe, and I also have the Batmobile down there too. So.
Nice.
Yes.
You like the Deluxe? You pretty happy with it?
Man, that base is freaking.
It's so
awesome,
cool,
man. I didn't imagine like it was that big until like I unboxed it. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It just screams like 89 Batman too, like iconic, nostalgic. Love it. Okay, let's see here. We got the movie canon. Good evening to you, my friend. We got Christian Crosshair Cooper. What up, Wolfpack? Try not to miss anybody here. Star Wars went dark because they're getting ready to unload Revenge of the Sith this year. I feel it. So we're going to get to that. We got Hawk Wars Toys, the GOAT. What's up, gentlemen? Ray is a staple in the community, a great seller of 6-scale figures as well. So check out my description. You can find his eBay store in the description below. Hit him up. Tell him the Jedi sent you. And he is a great seller to work with. But not only that, he's a great guy. So easy to work with. 1/6 Star Wars Pimpazoid. What's up? Did you get a deal on that job? I'm hoping Hot Toys drops one. Yes. And then maybe no. So I thought I got a deal. And then the description didn't quite line up with the way I got it. So some broken pieces, some paint rubs. Actually, I'm a really good artist.
Crazy.
I covered up a couple of the paint rubs, so you can't really even tell that they were there. But Salacious Crumb was a mess. Broken tail, broken hand, broken ears. I was able to glue him up, and you can't really tell. So I'm still happy with it, but I'm a little bummed that, it's used, so and it's an older piece, so you kind of know going in, like, probably not going to be perfect, but when someone sells it as near mint, you'd hope that it's near mint condition. So get that guy a case for that Back to the Future car. It's coming soon. The garage is going to be put up next week, so we're excited for that. Guys are killing it in the chat. We got Santi Zuccarino. Hi there from Argentina. I have a question to see if you can help me. I have the chance to get the Hot Toys DeLorean from Back to the Future 2 at a good price. But now that Blitzway has one announced, do you guys want to talk about that now, or should we hold off? Man, you guys are going right into the subjects, so we gotta hold off just a little bit. I'd say if you can get this one that's teased, I don't want to get into it too much here, but it looks like it's it is Back to the Future 2. So if you can get a good deal on the Hot Toys one, I'd probably say go with that.
Blitzway is going to be more expensive.
That's what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
and who knows when you're actually going to get it in your display. But we'll talk about that soon here. We got 1-6 Fix. Marco in the house. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. We got Adam Doom 89. If you know anything about Star Wars, then you know Filoni is the worst option to take over. Oof. Well, there you go.
I think I don't know if I see what he's saying because he kind of elaborates more in the comments down lower of Filoni is really a creative mind of for Star Wars, kind of along the lines of what I was saying is that's why I say I don't really care too much who takes over, but we have to have somebody who is supportive of Filoni being the one who has the mind of to do to have control of what's happening with Star Wars.
Gotcha. Let's see. We got Nerdist Maximus. What's going on, my friend? Curtis Booth, friend of the channel. Hey, everyone. Hope you're all having a great night. We got Big Rib. What's up, fellas?
Big Rib.
Good to have you here. 73 in the house. Hit that like button. Really helps the channel out a lot. The Ben Thomas Show. Gonna need to catch the replay. Out on a job site. Hope you guys have a great show, and everyone in the chat. Love you all. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you saying hi. We are getting there, guys. We are getting there. Yeah, so here he's kind of elaborating. Man, you guys are on fire. Just want to make sure. Okay, we're caught up just like that. Just like that. Okay, what do you guys want to start with? Should we start with the Star Wars drought? Let's go back up. Let me find that question from... I think that was Kibbles. Dude, it's been 2 months since a Star Wars announcement?
I think longer than that now.
Has it?
Maybe.
Anybody in the chat know how long it's been? And what was the last Star Wars announcement? I want to know.
Oh, I know there was. I remember.
Of course, I can't find that now. I'm trying to think, what was the last announcement for Star Wars?
Was it around the time with the...
Oh, it was Hammer of God here. What's the over-under? How many more days until we get a Star Wars pre-order announcement? Gosh, I gotta think it's imminent. But Beskar Kid is joining us. And he said...
Yes, he was the one who told me. I couldn't find his comment.
50, yeah. Oh, yeah, Malgus. Man, that seems so long ago. 57 days. Last one was Malgus. We got to be due for an OT, right? I mean, we got to hit our quota of 2 OT figures per year. So I'm excited for that. Wouldn't mind if we could triple that. Get 6 a year, but it is what it is. But Beskar Kid, thank you for having the hookup on that. Man, that is a long time. What do you guys... Is it just, I don't know, do you think they'll load up? I mean, of course we're going to get something before May, but do you think they're going to load up May, the 4th week? Do you think we're something's coming soon? Do you think there's any rhyme or reason that it's been almost 2 months since the last announcement? I mean, we have had the Chinese New Year and all that stuff too.
That's probably, I think that's a big part of it, obviously.
Yeah, so I think that definitely goes into consideration. But I guess what would you guys like to see as the next Star Wars announcement?
Great question.
Yeah, there's so
Please
much.
don't be Jabba the Hutt.
I would like to see them announce another Star Wars artisan figure. I want to see I am curious to see what they're going to do artisan. We have Anakin, we have Dark Empire Luke, which was an interesting choice to do for a first Luke Skywalker. So I would like to see them do announce some type of Star Wars artisan figure. As far as what I think we're gonna get some very soon. I think I told you guys in the chat one of my predictions. I can make a random prediction that Battle Damage Deadpool is gonna happen by the end of next week. But I think by the end of next week, I feel we're probably gonna have a Star Wars announcement and a Marvel release. That'll be, I guess, what my prediction will be. But I think we'll get an announcement.
That escape Leia.
That Bestman Escape Blade would be awesome. But I would like to see, that's what I would like to see is another artisan, but also I don't know if they're going to do like an OT artisan, because I feel like Revenge of the Sith is going to be, it's going to be wild. Like, I think this is one movie that like they know is really popular. Andor would be great. We talked about that too. Like what could happen with, with Andor, are they going to be, or they could just, they could reissue off of Rogue One. They could just make it Rogue One, and they could reissue Krennic. They could reissue K2SO. There's not much they're going to do with K2 anyways. So I feel like they could potentially do that. Like, we really need a Cassian figure. There's a lot of different things that could happen, but I think the safe bet is probably going to be, Revenge of the Sith. They're going to probably do a lot. I think like these rumors of like this artisan, dark side Anakin, I think that's a dark side Anakin, a 2.0 dark side Anakin is a really safe bet for Revenge of the Sith.
I agree.
I think that's like the safest bet of all of their Revenge of the Sith figures. If they do an artisan Obi-Wan, that would be awesome. Even though it's short hair, I would prefer them to do like an episode 2. But I think we're in kind of a drought. It has been a little while, but I think we're probably going to get hit with a lot of stuff here.
Bring it on.
That's probably going to be mostly Revenge of the Sith. I think that's probably what we're looking at. Yeah. I would love to. I mean, they sprinkle OT in randomly, like, but it's been few and far between lately.
Yeah, and I'm used to it. But do you think it's actually logical that they would do a main character like? I mean, I guess they did it with Anakin, but like, would they do a Luke Skywalker, a New Hope artisan? Because that.
Oh yeah.
Do you think they would do that with limited numbers, or do you think would they just offer a sculpted as well so that they don't miss any? Because that's a big character. So I don't know. Anakin seems like the oddball because they didn't do a sculpted version, but he's another huge character, obviously, as well. But like, does it make sense to do artisan Luke and not offer any sculpted version? Or like, because that 1.0 needs a facelift.
I'll let Flavio go ahead, man.
I definitely think that they would give you both options in that.
I would hope so.
Situation, just because of how big the character is, and they know that there's money on the table when it comes to Star Wars always. So I think they'll give us both options, but I think it's gonna be crazy again, man. Just because the way that last year played out, it seemed like last year though we already had a big wave of Star Wars stuff throughout the year. Like last year was like Star Wars all the time, and then when May came around, it was like we were kind of like speculating what are we gonna get, and we just got bombarded with Dark Empire Luke, the Maul that came out,
Dark Side event, man.
Yeah, it got crazy. So I think this year is gonna be a little crazier than last year, but I think we're also gonna get some of those like weird one-offs where people are like, oh, we were definitely not expecting that, but they're gonna pepper that in there as well. So I was thinking kind of along the same lines as Sneaker. I wanted them to do the episode 2 Obi. I think that's a figure that they definitely are gonna make eventually, but it would be
we need Padawan, dude. Oh.
Yeah, it would make sense though for them to do it for the May 4th event. But besides that, they're probably gonna do the dark side Anakin as well. And I don't know, I definitely do want like more OT stuff, because I missed out on that kind of stuff, but I want them to kind of like update everything. I know people probably don't want to hear that, but it would be cool to see some OT stuff too. But yeah, Luke for sure. I want a farm boy Luke too.
He'd be a perfect artisan figure for them to do. Like if they're gonna artisan Luke, I feel like a farm boy would be great. One thing I want to say too before I forget, I think I'm think initially when the Artisan Anakin was first announced, I thought they were going to do this, take the sculpted and potentially license him or release him under Ahsoka. Because like there's no way they were taking that Artisan Anakin head sculpt and just not only doing a rooted. Like this is probably like I could see them also dropping the sculpted Anakin for Revenge of the Sith. I could see that happening too, of them just doing a standalone sculpted regular edition Anakin, because that's already a figure that they've released. It'd be a 2.0. They could say this is Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith 2.0 because they've already done the figure as like the just like the normal Anakin, and then still do artisan sculpted artisan and sculpted dark side. Like it's Anakin. They go crazy on Anakin. They have so many different figures of him. What is it? Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Dark Side, Artisan, and then we got the Clone Wars, and then we got Ahsoka flashback Clone Wars. Like they know Anakin is a prominent character. Battle Damage Vader's Anakin's like still Anakin sculpt. So they're gonna continue. Like I think a sculpted just regular Anakin is on the table too for Revenge of the Sith. Like they're not gonna let that go to waste. That's gonna
really
happen.
needs to be.
Yeah.
I was wondering too if like I was checking the window on the Emperor because I was like, well, maybe around May the 4th, week too, maybe this gets released, It is April to September, so that could very well be something that because don't they usually do a couple like some announcements, but then maybe release something too, I'm sure. So
also
that's
like
Revenge of the Sith.
Also, we're still waiting on like these late window Ahsoka figures.
Yeah.
Hera.
Well, we thought they were going to
Merrick,
kind of hit those. They got a good
Yeah.
start on it. Like we thought they'd kind of keep coming after that, and that's been a while too. So
Yeah.
I don't
Still
know.
waiting on those like later window Ahsoka. So we could get an Ahsoka, like a random Ahsoka release potentially like in the next week or two as well.
I would say probably by like mid-April, start to feel like you're getting in gear to pick up a lot of Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna start,
Which is fine for me because I've just been going backwards on everything. So I haven't really had any like pre-orders like hit for a long time. So like it's kind of just given me the time to go back, and I think I've picked up like 9 or 10 Star Wars figures this year. So it's definitely been the 2025 focus as Sneaker knows there, but yeah, no regrets. I'm kind of in the middle on this Emperor. Like I was thinking about the Palpatine, but I really like the Darth Sidious figure here too, and I think that would kind of fit my display a little bit better with because like what I have is the Bad Batch, and then it'd kind of go into that's kind of where Order 66 went through. So then you have the Emperor, and then you have Vader kind of with Obi-Wan going into Rogue One, all that stuff. So this would be kind of a cool figure. And then you have that difference of Return of the Jedi and then Revenge of the Sith. So thinking about that too, but we'll see. I got to kind of see how everything kind of plays out. But I would really love to see Bespin escape Leia, because I've been wanting that figure for a long time. So other than that, I don't know, man. They only give us two-ish OT figures a year. So like, I don't think we're going to see anything outside of a Luke, Han, Leia, Vader type of figure, if we're being honest. Like, I don't think they're going to do a Gamorrean guard, or even I don't even know if like Bouche Leia's in the cards. Like, it just feels like they're just going to update the 1.0s, and they'll make them better, but I just don't know if they'll do anything really new. And even Escape Leia isn't really new if you're thinking about it. Like, it's pieced together from two figures. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Tauntaun.
Dude, come on. Tauntaun.
I think it's just
crazy. That'd be insane.
I don't know, man. It's interesting. Like the more that I feel like for this last bit of, I guess the last year, really like what turned the tide for me collecting wise was this Dark Side event. Like they just came out with all these different things that I'm interested in, right? Like this figure, Maul, Grievous, and then like that's when Dark Empire Luke was announced. So there's just so many things that I want from this that came out. And then they almost like they just sprinkle in a couple OTs. Like it's not a focus because they're really, it seems like lately they've really been heavy on like announcing what IPs they have for the year. Like they put out these preview videos. Oh, like these are the IPs we have. This is what we're going to be making. And it's like, you know, where you're going to get other stuff in between there, but the focus is going to be on what's marketable with other stuff sprinkled in, right? Which is kind of crazy to say because OT is like, you know, if you make something OT, it's going to sell. Like OT is going to sell in this hobby. It's just a fact.
Yeah. It's just Han and Chewie right now.
Han and Chewie, man, it's
what if they do like a
crazy.
Like what if this year they do it the opposite and they do like a light side event?
That would be dope.
That'd be crazy.
Cool.
Like
that'd be super dope.
The,
if they
like
did that.
You know, Jedi and
yeah,
you know, Council. Like,
I think that'd be awesome if they did that. They're like that's what well, I guess like we don't know. Like, are they gonna do another event or two where they just drop everything? Because the other event was when they did like Artisan Black Widow, Artisan Endgame Spider-Man, and then it was like that Iron Man. Was it the Mark 46?
Yeah.
And then it was, I think that's when was that when Grievous was announced?
Yeah, a little bit.
I think that was Grievous and Battle Damage Vader. That's when those were announced. I think those 5, maybe one more I'm missing, but
Chewie.
Those events are like just crazy. You know what I mean? Like to get all of that stuff to just hit pre-order all at once if those are things you want or like when they're going to be releasing. So those type of events are just just a lot of stuff. But OT is just, man, it's this is why I always say like Star Wars is pretty safe overall to collect because there's so much stuff.
It's timeless.
And like this is the thing, if you were to buy 30, say a lot of OT figures, Graham's on track. 20 to 30. Say you buy 20. Say you go.
Stream is even further than that.
Yeah. Say you bought 30 Star Wars figures backwards this year that are all OT related. You have a very high chance of not getting 2.0'd for a significant majority of those figures. Are you going to potentially take a 2.0 hit on one? Maybe, but like the OT rate that they've gone the last couple of years with what they've been like kind of just like, you know, dripping in here and there, like OT is relatively safe unless they just all of a sudden dump a bunch of OT figures on us, which there's no indication that they're doing like a original trilogy event, or unless it's like an anniversary that comes up. Like 2027 is going to be a New Hope 50th. Like maybe that's going to be big. 50th and New Hope, they may be looking ahead and just being like, you know, 2027 is going to be 50th anniversary of a New Hope. That's going to be a really big year for them to like market
3 figures that year.
Yeah, that's going to be 3. So that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like they could give you us 5 OT figures, but if you buy a lot backwards, there's so much OT that you could buy right now, and like there's so many things you can go backwards in really great figures. The chance of you getting 2.0 is relatively slim. Could it happen? Sure, but like Star Wars just has. That's why it's my favorite line, man. Well, one is because it's my favorite thing, but also like you're pretty safe getting older figures that you want. I think that's nice, and still getting a really like large variety of good stuff.
Well, even if they do get 2.0, by that time they need it. So like you're almost happy with that too, because then like Luke, like great figure, but then if he gets a 2.0, you're like, oh man, this figure really needed it, and you're going to see all the improvements and stuff like that. So
yep.
Yeah.
And you can always repurpose. I think we talked about this multiple times in the past too. Like there's so much ability to repurpose. That's why like this Han and Chewie, the Han and Chewie A New Hope just like got destroyed in value. Well, like I'm probably just going to keep those because they fit. I don't need this Empire Strikes Back Chewbacca. I don't need to buy 2 of these to replace my A New Hope one. I'm just going to leave my other one there. I don't really feel the need to necessarily buy this just so I can replace the Chewbacca that I have. So I think you have that going for you too. If like, cause these characters cross over, you know, obviously throughout the trilogy, they're all present. So you have the ability to, you know, just kind of hang on to them too, which is really nice.
It's an expensive piece.
It is.
Flavio, what's on your radar for Star Wars? What are you collecting? Do you have a direction? Or are you just getting stuff here and there? Or are you focusing on a certain genre within the genre?
It's tough, man. I kind of go back and forth just depending on the way that, Hot Toys is dishing it out to us. But I mean, ultimately, I would like to get, the OT stuff, like, first. But, like you said, it's been kind of dry with that. So, I mean, I've just been getting the stuff that's been hitting for me now. And then, also prequel stuff too, because, I like the prequels as well. If they do a Revenge of the Sith, that would be, amazing. That's like, my favorite one. But, yeah, I definitely have just been going for the Ahsoka stuff mainly.
Are you? What are you doing with that line? Are you getting most of it, all of it, just some of it?
I mean, I'm pretty much going for all of it. I'm just probably not going to pick up, who is that? The Captain Rex from this?
Oh, yeah.
And maybe the Anakin. I don't know yet. It's very tough because I have the Clone Wars Anakin.
Same.
So I don't know what I want to do, but I kind of also don't know how to fit in that Clone Wars Anakin now. Like, he might just have to be like with the selection that I have for Clone Wars. And then, the Ahsoka line will just, not have him there. But I'm picking up Thrawn. That's my next figure that I'm picking up from the Ahsoka line. So I gotta get him, and then
Great figure.
probably Balin, and then I'll go down the line from there. I'm trying to dabble, I dabble back and forth. I kind of have like a legit list between.
It's tough when you're collecting a bunch of different IPs too.
Exactly. Star Wars is like at the top, but then like, I go Marvel and then DC and then like all the other stuff. But I dibble and dabble back and forth, just depending on how I feel, like what's closer to being like more of like a priority versus, this or that.
Well, and it definitely goes in like waves too. Like right now, I'm just like all into Star Wars, and of course, down the road it might change. Like if I start watching Infinity War and Endgame, I'll be like all into Marvel and stuff like that. Or if I watch the Dark Knight trilogy, I'm like, shit, like come on. But what's weird is there's a lot of these figures that are February to June. So like, like they're gonna have to start hitting us over the head with these releases because they got a lot to kind of get out there too. So like,
I'm surprised Hera's not released yet.
Right, you got Hera, you got Han, you got
Hera's gonna be amazing, man.
Young Ahsoka. Chewie's a little bit later. Anakin's in his window. Rex is February to March.
Yeah, all these Ahsoka figures are the latest Ahsoka figure. I think is I think up till June, which is I think Shin Hati.
Ahsoka February to March.
Yeah, so like Ahsoka, Merrick, Hera should be imminent.
Ship. This one just says March.
I just pray that this is what the sculpt looks like when it comes
Hera
out.
releases tonight.
If it,
Oh,
dude, that'd be cool.
This
I'll
figure
stay up late if
gonna
it is. She looks so good.
This is just such a cool figure, man.
Chopper needs a Hera.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
Dude, that sculpt is gonna look so fire in person, bro.
I agree. Before we switch up gears, though, let's really quickly talk, because some people in the chat were asking, what about Andor? Do you guys think with season 2 and I guess the final season, do you think they'll actually do any Andor figures? So I don't know if you guys saw the trailer. Krennic.
mild trailer spoilers.
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler. Come on.
Yeah, you guys
Don't spoil the
seen it by
trailer.
now.
Right. But basically a bunch of characters from Rogue One, coming back.
Yeah.
So the opportunity's there, but if you don't do Andor himself, is it really like, what's the point? I don't know. It's weird.
He's the main I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but he's the deciding factor basically.
Right. Well, even
you
Rogue
can't
One,
do it without him.
Yeah, he wasn't my favorite character in Rogue One, but like my Rogue One stuff feels a little like just like something's missing, obviously, because like he was still a big part in the movie, so it's just kind of weird. But I also get why they didn't do any Andor characters for season 1, because it is very blah. Like nothing really stands out there. It's just like a bunch of, I don't know, just a bunch of people in space. It was great. It was great. Not to take anything away, but I don't know. There was no like.
I get what you're saying.
There's nothing there that really stood out, like character-wise, like the way
There was
that
no
it
like
looks
glitz or glamour
that you'd make
to the
toys
show,
for, you know? Yeah.
I think too, like first season, they planned on doing multiple seasons of Andor. So like Andor was a one season. I think they planned on, if I remember, I think they wanted to do like 4 or 5 seasons of Andor initially, but then like they just condensed it way down. So I think like for a first season, yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, now this is gonna do, obviously, like they're releasing 3 episodes a week, which I think is awesome. Like we're doing that. 3, like you're gonna get, what is that, 3, 6, 9, 12 episodes total. And then a year time jump between each one. So like the first season covered a year, this one's gonna cover, 4 years, right up into Rogue One. So I think, me personally, what I think, there's 2 things they could do. They could do Andor. They could brand it Andor. But like I said, Hot Toys, like, are they gonna do, like I see Beskar Kid mentioning, like Dedra and Luthen would be figures that I would be interested in. But knowing Hot Toys too, like they like to reissue some stuff. So I think like if Andor happens, they either brand everything Andor and they reissue K2 and Krennic and they update Krennic with Rolling Eyes. I think that's the main thing that would happen, is they would do Rolling Eyes Krennic. Or they simply, we know a Galen Erso Rogue One branded figure is coming to Star Wars Celebration in April. They could also just brand all of these Rogue One and do Cassian, a 2.0 Krennic, and reissue K2 under the Rogue One umbrella, and just avoid Andor figures altogether. So I think like those are the 2 routes. I would love to see Andor, like an Andor branded figure come out and them actually do some figures from that show. Because like there's some really cool, I would love to have a Dedra. She would be so cool to have, like having a female Imperial character like in the white outfit. That would be a cool figure to have. I feel like
clean look.
Yeah, that's like, I love those figures like with the white, like Thrawn and Krennic. Like it'd be so cool to have her, and she's a great character. I think she's just really well developed character in the show. And Luthen obviously is really awesome too. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I hope we get some.
I could see them doing like a Saw Gerrera too.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Sorry.
Dude, Saw Gerrera would be an amazing figure, dude.
Yeah, he'd be.
Saw would be awesome. But then you need we got it. Like we don't have a Baze Malbus or a Bodhi Rook. Like we need these other Rogue One, like the main characters in Rogue One.
And they teased that too, like a long time ago, didn't they?
And I wonder, like, are we gonna see them? Like, we're like Saw Gerrera, we're gonna see. Are we gonna see like Chirrut and Baze again? Like, do we know whether that's gonna happen? Like, how many characters? I think that's another thing is, what are we gonna get? We know this connects right into Rogue One, and obviously like leads up kind of like right into those events. So like, what overlap are we going to get in the show character wise? Like, are they going to show us all the characters that we see in Rogue One as well? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm really interested in too, is like, are we going to get surprises of characters, even though obviously it's not a surprise, but like what characters are they going to show, and what are they going to avoid in a 12 episode final season of the show? Right. That's going to be potentially like characters that Hot Toys could make. I don't know, man. They've been stingy. They've been stingy. Yeah,
there's so much they can do, and
they've also been very stingy.
Adam said it really well though. He's like, because kind of what I was trying to say is, the characters just aren't marketable for Hot Toys to do. So, really well said there. We'll see. I mean, what is that? April that it comes out? Is that when it
April?
Starts?
Yep. Okay. What is it? April 22nd? Second? Yeah,
I think so.
I think you're right.
Big shout out to Collector
Tuesday.
Joey, who was on the show recently.
Hi, Joey.
Look, he wants to come on when Joey's not there. Plotting and planning.
Thanks, Joey. Just got out of the hospital. I appreciate it, bro.
Okay, well, let's move on here. Let's go to this announcement. I want to let Flavio kind of kick this one off.
Just keep talking about Star Wars.
I know, right? Because now you and I are pretty much
keep
out
going.
here. You and I are going to be out
the whole time.
We're going to let Flavio kind of take this one away. Agent Venom.
I'll be the resident Spider-Man.
Yeah, the resident
night.
Spider-Man fan in while Brick's out here. But I looked through comments, Flavio, and a lot of people said like this looks really badass and they're excited about it. What do you think?
So I don't know. I kind of was like, I had mixed emotions when I first seen, the announcement that morning when I woke up to it. It's, out of left field, but it's not at the same time. But it just is a random announcement again, and me and Brick were talking about this before, and I feel like the random announcements are to kind of, fill out the gaps for Marvel itself, because Marvel's kind of like, flat right now. So they kind of got to keep up that momentum until we get to that big push with Secret Wars and, Fantastic Four. But Agent Venom, he is badass, he is a cool character, you can't deny, in a figure format, he just looks sick. Like he's a militant style Spider-Man character, like, and he's a symbiote at that. But Venom, has bonded with, different people, but Agent Venom is actually Flash Thompson. So that's kind of cool that it's not like Eddie Brock's Venom.
Right. I don't know anything about Agent Venom, so.
Yeah, so pretty much like, just to make it short and sweet, Flash Thompson, he's like Peter Parker's biggest like bully in high school, but there's a story arc where, believe it or not, he picks on him, but then at the same time, he's Spider-Man's biggest, like one of his biggest fan. And he, takes it upon himself to want to be a hero like Spider-Man as well. He goes over, overseas, and he joins the military and has, goes into the war in Iraq. And then, he has like a big accident over there, causing him to lose both of his legs. And at this time, the military had control of the symbiote. They took it from Eddie Brock. So they saved him, and it bonded with his body and, gave him symbiote legs and, put him back together, healed him up. And they pretty much use him as kind of like, like a Steve Rogers or something like that. They use him as a tool, and he, he goes through so many different, stories in his comic book run, but it makes sense of this release when you think about it with the comics. So like he's had run-ins with let's go all the way back. He's had run-ins with Groot, with Guardians of the Galaxy. So he's had a story with that. We've had a Venomized art rendition of Groot a long time ago. So there's that. Boom. We also have seen him in a story with the superior Venom. He crosses with Superior suit and then makes Superior Venom. So there's a possibility that we could get a Superior Venom figure as well. So like he's just done so many things in the comics that it makes sense that they would do this with the comic line. And I'm not mad at it. I can't complain. Is it something that is it something that I want to get? Obviously yes, but I don't think I am. Not right away, at least. Sure. This might be something that I might catch later on, maybe a trade, maybe bargain bin, I don't know if it might go waitlist, but I think it looks great. You get all the guns, you get all the different little,
I have a feeling this isn't going to be a big run. Like I feel like they don't want this to sit around. So I think that,
right. And that's why I say I don't know if it'll go.
Like if you need it or want it, you're going to have to pre-order it.
Right. So
but ultimately, I asked Brick too. I was like, I was like, "Are you
He
getting
wants
this?" He's
it.
like, "Probably." I'm like,
He wants it.
"That's Venom, right?" So,
And I was
get
just
it.
telling him like that's the tough thing with this. I have so many Spider-Man already, and I have the villains too, that I really, really want. But I kind of don't want to go too crazy into collecting like just all Spider-Man. Like I want to have the ones that hit and make sense for me, that will, make sense in the collection. But then at the same time, he does make sense. There's a spot for every character. It's just, not something that's on my mind right now.
Sure. Yeah, well said. I appreciate you explaining it too.
Yeah.
I know Sneaker's super excited for this figure, and I know when he woke up this morning and he saw it, he was like, "That's exactly what I was looking for, Hot Toys. Thank you."
You said exactly what I said. No, this is cool, man. I mean, it's a cool, like, I do like the story and like the comic background and stuff, but this is just not like something that I am going to be collecting. I gotta no longer collect what's cool.
But
Every once in a while.
It's true. Like,
Yeah.
like even King Shark, like, it's DC in my second go around with that damn figure too, but I'm weak, man. I'm weak, just like everybody else. But like,
Hey, you got gotten for a good price.
yeah, I mean, it was pretty cheap, but still, it's like I gotta stop getting cool shit and just get the shit that like really means a lot to me. And sometimes that's hard to really decide then and there, because you got the hype, you got the FOMO, you got, whatever the case may be, everybody's talking about it. So, but then like it just wears off, and you're like, I don't know, like, does it have the staying power? Like, is it something that's cool or something that you really need? And for some people like Brick, they're huge Venom fans and they do need this, and that's awesome. Like, but for me, there's a lot of cool shit out there, but I gotta just, like, I think Moose Dream maybe said it, stay in my lane and just kind of know, like, kind of where I'm at. And that goes for DC for me too. Like, not all DC is going to be for me to collect, even though I love Batman, but Star Wars, not all Star Wars is going to be for me to collect either. Really honing in on the OT, but yeah, sometimes it's tough though, because you're going to get these Revenge of the Sith figures coming out later this year, and then you're going to be like, shit, that looks really cool. I do like Star Wars, and hey, it's the prequels.
Yeah, I do like Star Wars. Cool.
But like, you're gonna have to, I guess, make that decision. To me, this is definitely one of those things where I just gotta admire it from afar and just stay away, because it's not in line with what I'm collecting. And that's not even just, again, for Marvel. I do feel like my Marvel's kind of set, because it's more, for me, it's just more of like Avengers and Guardians stuff. So yeah. But Hammer
really
of God,
cool,
OBs, only
OBs,
bangers.
that's facts, bro.
OBs.
yeah, this figure is, I think eventually too, like, you'll be able to pick this up later.
Yeah.
Like,
It's cool, man. It's a cool figure.
from now.
I like that. This is another thing. Like, the tendrils holding the guns is really cool.
That's
But
cool.
that's like, this is a large footprint if you do this. Like, that pose, if you do it, is a huge space.
and those are new.
picker upper.
I think they're gonna reuse those somewhere.
Yeah. This is cool what they're doing with. I will say this is cool what they're doing with the comic line though. Like, this is. I hope they just keep going and making things. Like, it's important that this stuff gets made and like bought by people too, because I do think like there's a lot of value in making comic characters. There's some really cool stuff in comics, and that's obviously what kind of those stories started, like the characters that we now love in all these movies and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? So like, one that I think about too is like how they're making like this like Dark Knight Returns Batman. Like, I hope they keep making stuff like that. When it comes to comics, where we get like comic iterations of the stuff that we collect, because I am drawn to that stuff. It's just a more selective, so that's why this one doesn't really appeal to me. But he's cool, man. You can't deny like the cool factor of this figure. Like, it's a badass figure with like the logo, and then just like, I don't know, man. There's an appeal to like Venom having guns.
Yeah, I love his.
You know what I mean?
I love his
SWAT
chest
Venom.
armor. It's like
it's
kind
dope.
of like how do I say that? The bomb squad kind of.
Yeah, like SWAT,
And
like
the
SWAT.
mask It's just
Yeah.
like a Call of Duty
Yeah.
figure, almost like a Call of Duty skin.
Yeah,
Like, where you
this
make
is
it like,
literally-
I'm a big
For real.
Venom fan, I'm gonna make a Call of Duty Venom
so
skin.
true. Dude,
But,
and he like even had a run too with he was in like a part of the Secret Wars too. So it's like crazy that he's coming out around this time because, you know, like Sneaker said, like the comic book line is infinite. Like they can delve into like so many different characters that might not be appealing, so to say, you know. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but to people that want to just get all these characters. But there are people that are really heavy into the comics and like those, you know, specific stories for these characters that they would love to pick this up. So
yeah.
this is definitely going to be a hit for people.
Sin says if Venom and Punisher had a kid, amen to that, 100%.
Oh, that's right too. Daredevil. Like we could get a Daredevil drop next week potentially.
Well, and Rez,
Like that
Rez
that
says,
comes out.
what about the Flash being released? Because that
Oh
was
yeah, what happened? Yeah, why didn't that come
video,
out this
was
week?
it Sideshow video, right?
Yeah, Sideshow
I've
first
seen that.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Which is
pulled
weird
the video.
because Sideshow's been running behind,
Mhm.
but then they had the Flash one. So
Yeah, it's kind of like it's really
odd.
that is really weird. But yeah, I forgot Daredevil comes out next Tuesday.
Yep, the 4th.
That show's gonna hit, dude. I can't wait for that.
wait.
I love the
Me too.
night. Graham, did you watch Daredevil on Netflix?
Oh, I didn't finish, but
How dare you?
how many seasons were there? 3 or 4?
3, I think.
3.
I gotta be almost done with 2 or on 3.
Yeah, it's worth watching. This one's gonna be a banger too. The trailer
been a
was
minute.
amazing.
I think something else
I'm really
came
excited.
out. Something else, like something new came out when I was watching it because I watched it probably in the last year and a half. And then I think I just forgot about it and never went back to it.
It's a commitment. I feel like to watch that too. Like there's a lot of episodes and like they're relatively long.
It was good though. I liked it.
It's good. It's good.
Story
I'm
was
excited.
really
And
good.
you already know we're going to be getting figures from that. Like they're going to
Yeah.
do a Born Again. They're going to do Daredevil. They're probably going to do Punisher.
Kingpin.
That's what I want. The one figure I want from that show the most is John Bernthal Punisher. I want them to do a Rolling Eyes updated John Bernthal, man.
Say it louder
that's-
for the people
yep.
in the back.
Let's see. Ooh, look at this. Ben Affleck Daredevil All Other would be dope to me.
That would be cool.
Daredevil's
Alright.
going to be a cool figure too. His suit looks badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that red, man, because it's like
Yeah.
I really wanted the first one when I first started collecting, but like it was like really expensive, and then I was gonna go for it, but then I was like, I'm gonna wait. Then the yellow, like the mustard one, didn't go for it. And then after it released, I kind of was like, you know, the head sculpt wasn't the best, but I still would get that figure. You know what I mean? Because I liked the alternate, you know, colorway for the suit. But I really want like, you know, just a standalone red. And I know this one's not going to be like the first show. It's going to probably be maybe like a little bit brighter, I would say, but maybe somewhat of a muted red. But I'm going all in for that, man. And the Punisher too.
Should be dope. I'm surprised, or I'm excited to see what they do with villains. Like if we were to get a Kingpin, that would be really dope too.
That's
Yeah.
I was telling Brick that like if they do Kingpin, I would like them to possibly do 2 head sculpts and like one do like a bloodied like head sculpt. But like definitely if we get Kingpin, I feel like it's necessary to have bloody hands.
Yeah.
That would just throw it over the top.
Yeah, they have some potential for villains too. I think that'd be cool.
The bullseye
Yeah.
guy.
Tristan says he's not the biggest Daredevil fan, so I'm not interested, but I'm with Steve. Please give us the Punisher.
Yeah. And they announced that they're doing that kind of like how they did the holiday special. I think I saw like kind of how they did that Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, the movie. They're doing
Yeah.
a Punisher. They're doing a Punisher special presentation and John Bernthal's co-writing. That's going to be coming out after Daredevil season 1 or like they're going to do it him like after season 1 or something like that. I forget the time period, but yeah, John Bernthal's co-writing like a special, like a special, which
That's
is
cool.
I'm happy about because John Bernthal's kind of also, if you follow anything that he does, like he didn't really want to do Daredevil again. I don't think like they had to like convince him with the script for him to come back of like, this is like, okay, now I'll do it. Yes, Mike, what, dude? John Bernthal's awesome, man.
Yeah, he seems very like hands-on. Like he wants to make sure that like if he's playing a role, that he does the best that he can.
Yeah. I love him as Punisher, man. And he's got an awesome podcast in real life.
Yeah, I like his podcast. He's cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's finish with
Damn,
Blitzway tease here. 40 years, guys. Can you believe 40 years? Back to the Future. Do you know? Well, this is Back to the Future 2. Back to the Future 1 came out in 1985. That was the year I was born. So that's one of the movies of my year. Happy birthday. As well as the Goonies, of course. But here we're focusing on Back to the Future 2. Blitzway teasing the DeLorean. I guess the way I want to start this conversation is there still a demand for Back to the Future 2? Hot Toys has done them all. Were any of them 2.0'd from Hot Toys?
Ooh, I don't know.
I can't remember.
The vehicles?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. They just did 1, 2, and
Yeah, I
then
don't think
3.
so either.
Yep.
So, but still, like, there's a lot of DeLoreans out there, and I'm sure some people maybe got number 3 or 2 because they couldn't get 1 or whatever the case may be.
What one do you have again, Graham?
I have 2 in the hover mode.
I see it now.
I see it now.
Didn't see it in the frame before.
I actually didn't plan this either. Like, I had put this here over the weekend, and here we are. So that's actually it worked out pretty well. But yeah, so obviously Blitzway, they did the Ecto one a couple times. They've done some other stuff. They do some pretty good work, but obviously they're going to be more expensive too. So somebody had a question if they should get Back to the Future 2 at a good price or wait for this. Earlier in the show, I still think, I mean, everybody's different. Like, if you have to have the best of the best, then you maybe wait for this. But otherwise, maybe you just get what you can get right away.
Looks like we got a Wolfpack coming to the ring.
The Wolfpack themselves.
Look who's back! Just
Bro.
in time.
I was busting my ass. Really hanging? Too sweet there, Steve. I know you're faking it, so it's all good. But
Fuck, you can see my light flashing in the background.
yeah,
Damn
you're
it.
breathing pretty hard, so it's like kind of gives me the illusion there. But yeah, it was not me. Frontier, you suck. But yeah, I'm back, boys. I missed
Hold
the
on.
show.
Hold on here. I got one more thing for
Go.
you. That's what I should have rolled out for
Wow,
you.
so polarizing. What a polarizing one to pick. Okay, fair enough.
Oh
Tell
man.
me how you really feel. All
Let's-
right, so what did I
let's-
miss? Everything.
Yeah, I pretty much missed everything, but I want to start with Flavio on this tease, what his thoughts are, because he's got to get bouncing here pretty quick. So I want him to kind of go first with his thoughts here.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited for this announcement. Like, I don't even know why I'm excited because I have the Hot Toys, DeLorean, but I think they're gonna do great with this. I don't know if it's just my gut feeling or what, but I mean, you got to look at, the other vehicles that Blitzway has done. And this is an iconic vehicle. It's an iconic silhouette, Everybody knows what a DeLorean looks like, or at least I would hope so in 2025. But yeah, this is, I'm excited to see what it actually looks like. I'm excited to see the size comparison that they do versus, the Hot Toys version. I think that they're going to do something differently with the wheels. Like, something tells me that they're not going to use like the same mechanism. It'll kind of feel like the same way, but I don't know. I just expect something, very bespoke about Blitzway's stuff is what it seems like, that I've seen from their previous things. The Ecto 1, I think, that's a masterpiece, bro. Like, that's still a vehicle that I want.
and it's freaking alone
Right.
to get. So, you know, I probably won't get that, but I would love to get the Ecto one. You know, I've bounced around the idea of, you know, just doing the, you know, second place, you know, consolation prize with the Afterlife, but I was just like, nah, like, you know, I really want that clean Ecto 1 look. So this, I'm very excited to see what they do, you know, with this car. And, you know, I wonder if they'll do the figures too.
It's a good question.
Because that's definitely something, you know, that I would go in on. You know, I got the Doc Brown, but that head sculpt leaves a lot to be desired. So, you know, if they did a Doc Brown and, you know, maybe a Marty, I would possibly pick those up, but I don't know if I'm, you know, I'm not going in for this car. You know, I'm content with the Hot Toys version and what they did. Although, you know, they had a lot of, you know, QC issues there in the beginning, with the release of the vehicle, with the wheels and people's stuff malfunctioning, and, you know, certain things that, you know, might not be 100% accurate, like the headlights being, you know, different colors, things like of that nature. I just think Blitzway is gonna fine tune and make sure that they do properly. But overall, it's gonna be a Back to the Future 2 DeLorean. So for people that already have that vehicle, I feel like it's gonna be, you know, the make or break. Are you super diehard and need two, or are you happy with the one that you got? So I'm just excited to see it. I think people will benefit from it.
For sure. I mean, do you guys think it's going to be like Hot Toys 89 Batmobile to Jazz Inc. 89 Batmobile? Like, obviously, they're going to look a lot the same, but you're going to have those fine details that are going to be just probably more accurate with the Blitzway, you know, car, obviously. You don't. Do you guys think like the DeLorean is a little bit undersized for the Hot Toys version?
That's the thing. I don't know. I really don't know, because I mean, it's pretty big. Like, it looks big, but like with Blitzway's version, are they going to make it seem more realistic as a vehicle? You get what I'm saying? Right. Because like when I feel like I'm looking at the Hot Toys version and it looks like the vehicle, but like there's a part there that I could still tell that it's like a, God dare I say it, I don't want to say toy, but like that you could, you know what I'm saying? Like they might make it look just more high HD is what I'm trying to say.
DLO, what do you think?
Oh, well, I think...
Hi, DLO.
Hi, DLO.
He's like, why did I join?
This is like, I should have just took the night off. Watch a rom-com with the wife. As far as, I mean, Hot Toys is always under scale. Every one of their vehicles. Everyone. And I think they do that by design, right? But if you're going to compare something like a Jazz Inc. or Blitzway just from their past work, I think it's fair to say it's going to be of a higher scale. Better, that's debatable. We don't know that yet there. But if we go back by simply what we know about Blitzway and what the work they've done, they've created, honestly, one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most impressive vehicles I've ever seen in 1/6. Like, I don't know, has anybody ever had a chance to see the Ecto 1 in person?
Not in person.
I have. Crazy in pictures.
I have.
Right.
The pictures, if you think the pictures look crazy, in person, even crazier. Honestly, I don't know how people have that in their homes. So, you know, I'm not saying that the Ecto 1 and the DeLorean are going to be the same exact size. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. They're totally different vehicles. But what I do know about Blitzway by reputation and having some of the pieces in my collection over the years, it's going to be very well detailed. Some parts are going to be very well built. Some parts are going to be super fragile. Like, there are going to be some things you would think would not break that will break on a Blitzway. But that's not to say that's, you know, obviously Hot Toys can't have the same problems. I mean, Flavio just finished saying a second ago what happened with the DeLorean Part 2. So what you're going to get here is, number one, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be more than clearly what the DeLorean is. I'm going to guess ballparking this here, this is probably going to go for $1,000. I'd say, just based off of pricing
That's
on
not
what the
that
Ecto
bad.
one is. No, I mean, I think that's going to be somewhere where they're going to fall. Now, it might be maybe $100 more, $200 more, but I'm going to say 1,000 to be safe here. But I will say this here. I don't know if it's enough for me to want to upgrade from mine because I'm happy with it. I don't need it to be more, right? Like I don't feel like I have to chase the best version of the DeLorean. It's just nice to have one.
Yep.
But I will say this here. And as far as like, because we don't talk about this anymore because it's really not a thing anymore. But like, as far as like a collectible is concerned, like a true definition of a collectible where it's going to be rare. And if you find it on the secondary market, it's going to cost you more. This will be that vehicle. Like, mark my words. Ecto 1, you see it go for a small fortune. This is going to be no different. It's not going to be the same size of order that you would typically get from Hot Toys. And even Hot Toys is scaling back a lot of their numbers as well, too. So if you think that's like getting shorter, wait till you get a Blitzway order. Like those girls are very slim. Everything that they make instantly turns into the grail because they just don't make too much of their stuff. Kurt Cobain comes to mind, Nirvana. I mean, that one's a grail. And that was like the most recent figure they put out. It's super expensive to begin. It's even more now that it's sold out. And that's kind of the way of Blitzway is because Blitzway just doesn't put up the volume of a Hot Toy. So if you don't have a DeLorean yet and you missed out or holding out for another one, this is going to be a great option for you here because not only are you going to get a premium vehicle, but it's going to actually be a collectible once everybody's bought theirs and it's all sold out. Because they just don't find it for retail afterwards. Just never happens with Blitzway.
Do you guys think this hurts the value of the Hot Toys version? Because that's been going for still like a pretty penny.
I don't think so.
Or do you think it's like so
I-
limited that it really won't affect it much?
Yeah, I think in that same sense of like what DLO was saying, I think it's gonna be, completely too stark. In that sense, I feel like it's kind of gonna be like the Jazz Inc. situation. It's gonna be two like stark kind of like different things where, you're gonna either see it better in this side or you're gonna see it better on this side, but they're gonna be completely different to where they're gonna have their own lane. But I think the Blitzway one, is gonna hold its value more over time. But
Yeah, I agree with what you said, D'Lo, too. Like, I'm just happy to have the DeLorean. The 89 Batmobile is honestly the only vehicle where I feel like I have to have the best one.
Sure.
Because that's my favorite vehicle. It's my most iconic and nostalgic one. So, like, I went all out for that one. But this one, I definitely don't feel like I have to do that. So, Sneaker, have you seen the Back to the Future trilogy yet?
I have not seen all the movies.
Have you seen any of them?
Have you seen at least up to two?
I've seen the first movie. I haven't seen the second or third movie.
The best one.
yeah, you gotta see part 2, bro.
Yeah, part 2.
Never got into it, unfortunately.
best.
First movie's good, but I just never got into the movie, so I don't really care too much about. I don't really care too much about.
Why not?
This,
What are you? Chicken?
Why not? Nobody calls me.
No, I agree
Chicken
with
McFly?
I agree with what you guys are saying though. I think it is kind of like a Jazz Inc. situation of like you're gonna have two separate kind of crowds. Like everybody wants one, but like what one are you willing to get? And you guys kind of made a good point of I forget what I was gonna say. I vote. I think the big thing is what's really going to come down to is price too. And I know what I was going to say. You guys were talking about how like you're good with just having the one that you have and that's good enough. I think that speaks to kind of anything that you collect. If it's something you feel like you really need to have that version of something, like Graham said about, the Batmobile, like I need to have or I want to have the best version of the car, then sure. And I think there's gonna be that crowd for this of like, this is the one that I want. It's the best when it comes to kind of accuracy, quality, etc. We don't know yet, like D'Lo said, but I think if that's how it turns out, where this one's like, maybe, I don't know what the Hot Toy scale is if it's underscaled, but if it is a different scale or they're a little bit more true to scale and it looks better and it's better materials and whatnot and kind of those intricacies, then I think you're going to have that crowd too. And yeah, these things go like Blitzway stuff sells for mad money. like that original Ghostbusters car is crazy.
That is a grail of grails.
That thing goes for it goes for buku bucks. So this could easily be that. That's going to be interesting. Like looking once they announce this for pre-order, it's going to be interesting because I feel like that's where, like, I think also some collectors are probably going to be more apt to like pre-order this when it's like, oh, I know Blitzway make like a tree and get the fuck out.
Fuck out of here.
Let's make like a tree and leave.
Fuck out.
I need to watch that movie again.
It's a great one.
But yeah, I think there's going to be more people who are also drawn to this for that aspect of like Blitzway stuff. Once it's gone and it's going to fetch a high price. So like having something like that in your collection is also nice too. And I think that's been talked about a lot since like, especially since that Ghostbuster reissue happened. Like I feel like Blitzway's been talked about more. So more collectors are probably aware of that as well, of like, this is going to be like a really nice collectible to have. That's going to be something that's probably sought after, all said and done, which I think like is nice to have stuff like that in your collection. So I think more people ultimately will probably be drawn to getting it for potentially from like that perspective too. So I'm kind of excited to see just what like it turns out to be. Because Blitzway does make some cool stuff. So yeah.
Well, the big thing is, I mean, there's so many DeLorean options on the market now. So it's like, I mean, if you're coming to market with your own version, you got to be confident that you got something that could do something more than what's already out there, right? Or else why do it at all? Like really, because I mean, DeLorean is an amazing, iconic vehicle, but I mean, I can think of maybe a few more I would put in front of it there that would probably be more sought after. And one of them they've already done. So it's almost like, you know, Blitzway's got to be feeling confident to be doing this here. And more importantly, I also think here, in order to sell this really, because it's going to be more expensive, like there's no doubt in my mind, it's going to be more expensive than what you can get a Hot Toys DeLorean for. But if they make the figures to go along with it, because a Part 2 Marty McFly is very desired. Like since Hot Toys did not do, that's the only two figures that they did not either do 2.0 of or a reissue of.
And they need it.
And that's needed. There's a lot of people like myself and Graham I can see over there who's got Part 1 Marty and Doc with a Part 2 DeLorean. And if Breda was here, he'd give him a lot of shit for that.
Shame.
Shout out to Breda. But yeah, I think the figure's got to come. But also, full stop on this here. This isn't coming anytime soon. This Blitzway just teases the crap out of their stuff before they actually tease. Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, I've been excited about a possible Ghostbusters reissue since last year.
Yeah,
and nothing's been official yet. Nothing formally shown yet. So it's like,
yeah, they're taking their sweet ass time.
I'm gonna keep my excitement to a minimum until I actually see something from them, because they're notorious for this teasing, and then people forget, and then bam. Oh, by the way,
even Hot Toys with the 2022 Batmobile. Show you a picture.
I mean,
and never
don't even bring that up. That's long gone, bro.
I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, no, but you're right. It's just like that's just how some of these things work sometimes. I mean,
I just love the Blitzway. I was like, this is funny because in my Facebook group, I shared like the very first photo, which is like a few days ago, and it was just like a black screen, and it was like Back to the Future. This is what we're officially doing, like the Back to the Future like 2 car. And then this one is just like, you see the silhouette now, like, and I'm like,
slowly but surely.
Share like, here's another tease of the same thing, of basically you're just getting like a small shadow. So it's like, what's
next? They'll show the wheels with the actual like print.
Like, what are they gonna do? Start highlight? What is it, like 25, 50, 75? Finally, 100% of the cars. Like, what are we gonna get here? What are we gonna get here over the course of the next like 2 weeks?
Don't give them any ideas, bro. Yeah. Don't give them any ideas.
I thought that was funny. I'm like, this is like the same thing, but like barely anymore.
Same.
You just did.
Different. Yeah, we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. That's where I'm with Blitzway.
Well, it's cool. It's cool that they're in the game with Back to the Future, and yeah, we'll see what they do. But I agree. If they could add the figures, I think that really would kind of put it over the top. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, we did not get any announcements or releases while being on the air, so that's pretty much it. I know our boy Flavio's got to get going. He stayed a few minutes late just to kind of hang out with us, so we do appreciate that. So I'm going to let him start. If he wants to plug his channel or just let us know, where you're hanging out these days, and yeah, take it away. Thanks for being our special guest tonight, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you once again for having me. It's always a pleasure. It was awesome, hanging out with you guys and, getting able to chit chat about what Hot Toys hasn't been doing lately. But, and it was also fun, spending a little bit of time that I had with brother DLO. Unfortunately.
Sorry, bro. My bad.
Hey, we'll just have to take a rain check, bro. We can do this again. So, but yeah, you guys can catch me at Flavio's House of Collectibles on Instagram and YouTube. I know I've been saying that, I was dealing with, the room and all of that. So I'm back on making
room tour
videos.
Right, that's how you make it up to us, bro. Like I hear a lot of talking, but I don't hear.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting because I'm trying to stage everything how I want it to be, and I still got a couple of figures that I gotta unbox still. But I'm working on my Artisan Joker video right now. Hopefully that'll be out maybe by this weekend, if not early next week.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna move on to doing my Artisan Jack Sparrow video. And then after that, it's like, I'm caught up because I'm not going to do, my videos for all my other figures. I'm just going to get them out and kind of just stage them. But other than that, you guys can catch me on the Bugle 6 on Saturdays, but we'll be on this Saturday with Brick. So shout out to my boy Brick Artemis. Hope he's doing well, and shout out to him. So if you guys want to catch me on there. And yeah, thank you guys for having me once again. So
I thought I was gonna sign out as soon as he did that. Like, hey.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
And Steve, who looks well rested and good to go after his surgery. Appreciate you being on here, my friend. Hope you're doing well with the recovery. And yeah, just fill us in on what you got going on over there at your channel of AKA used to be Evil Sneaker and is no more.
Oh, what I got going on? I've just basically been kind of doing my show on Sundays. Yeah, I've been, obviously everybody kind of knows I had a surgery last Monday, I guess now. So I've just been at home recovering and yeah, doing shows on Sundays really. So come watch my my live show Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. I don't know what else I was gonna say. That's it. It's pretty much all I got. All right. Not too much going on right now. I've got a backlog of figures I've been trying to work through as well, which has been nice. Taking my sweet time doing that.
I don't know how you guys do that. I don't know.
It's hard.
It's a time thing. It literally comes down to time, and I haven't had it, and now I do. And then when I do get a break from when I actually have downtime, like I'm tired to the point where I don't want to go unbox a figure. I'm battered. I'm damaged, and
you and I are in basements, unlike probably these two. So we got to go down a flight of steps. Late at night. So it's
and then I just and then I just on the couch. And then what looks better, like sitting here opening up a figure, or just like going to the couch in the theater and passing out in 5 minutes.
Oh, so he does make it downstairs, but.
Well, or also like, I'm hurting, and then I open up a box that's of a figure that's also going to be hurt and damaged, because that's all that's been happening lately for every figure that I open. So yeah, the hobby's been fun lately.
Flava, he low-key called us poor because we have basements, bro. That's what he's trying to tell us. He's trying to tell us.
I'm gassing.
Oh man.
Unreal.
All right. Well, thank you, Steven. DLO the Collector, DLO the Ghost
Grandman.
Spider.
Yes. We're gonna go house shopping after the show.
Yeah. In the Midwest.
I have to go find a house with a basement. No deal. Well, yeah. First of all, apologies, everybody. Sorry, Frontier was having some hiccups, and I got service at the last second. I wanted to make sure I substituted for Flav because I know you couldn't stay the whole time. So sorry, bro, for keeping you here the whole night. I'm sure twisted your arm, hang out with friends, talk about toys, but
Nah, man.
how selfish of us. But hopefully you can forgive me
when
one
you're
day.
dead.
Yeah, hopefully you can forgive me one day for that. But yeah, no, as far as my channel is concerned, I put out a comic tour. I decided to go to a local comic shop. I've been telling you guys about that for a minute. And I finally posted it last week. I went to Orlando, Florida. I went to God and Monsters. Super cool store. It's on my channel right now. Definitely take a look at it if you haven't seen it already. In the process of reviewing the Batman Armory, if I got it, I might as well do that. And shortly after that, I do have a second comic shop tour on the docket. I filmed my local store in my area where I like to get my figures from. So I figured I'd share that with you guys there. So I got tons of content in the work over here. So just going to get out the Armory video for you guys pretty shortly over here. And yeah, probably post it by the end of the week. We'll see what's up.
Nice. I'm excited to see your local comic book store so that I can see where you
that one
where you go and you just grab an ass with the owner and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
Just want to see where all the rich and famous go shop who don't have basements.
At the end of the video, D-Lo's going to be like, I'm now the co-owner of the shop.
Oh man,
that'd be pretty cool. I'll take that.
That would be funny. Okay,
just real quick here. I always say to myself, if I ever won the lotto, I would work at a GameStop or a comic shop. That's actually
don't work at GameStop. Please don't do that.
I know. No, well, obviously not now. I mean,
you'd be selling the plushies and the mugs, and that's about it.
I just want to listen. If
you want to re-up your scorecard,
I'd want to opening your own comic shop. That'd be fun.
No, but I've always wanted to at least one time go to a GameStop, work at a GameStop, and go to somebody and be like, dude, I can give you like $1.50 for that Madden. That's about it.
So that's what that feels.
And just like have that one interaction and then like punch out like, all right, guys, this has been fun. Thank you for letting me do this.
Or even worse, we don't even want this one.
That's insane, bro.
It's like we just
the Madden's only a year old.
Doesn't matter. Sorry, store policy.
Oh man!
Oh, it hurts
I would love to see
time.
D-Lo working at a GameStop.
You bring in your copy of Madden. I would actually, if I hit the lottery, I'd work with whatever local one is nearby you just for the day, just because I have money like that at that point. Be like, step aside, let me handle this customer. Sir, come on up.
Oh man, that'll be the day. That'll be the day.
One day, baby. One day.
All right. Well, hey, it was a good time for my channel. Like I said, got the Job of the Hut video out for channel members right now. And then on Friday morning, that will be out. Cases next week. Possible Spider-Man review next week as well. The Topo Batman head sculpts are on their way too. So I'm definitely going to take a look at those. Review that for you guys too. I'm a little nervous because I'm not sold on them, but I did buy them. So probably why I'm a little nervous about it, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's a good upgrade. Other than that, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my friends' channels, and until next week, we will catch you guys on the flippity flip. Too sweet, everybody.
Too sweet. Flippity flip. I don't know. Make it like a tree.
And get the